Some walk the earth without leaving a trace. Others quietly shape it, not with force or domination, but through rhythm, symbols, belief, and story. Throughout history, certain individuals have influenced the way we think, feel, and act, not by controlling others, but by understanding the deeper patterns of perception. They didn't possess anything mystical. They simply noticed what most overlook: that the mind plays a central role in shaping what we experience. And the key to this shaping? Clarity of perception. When you learn to direct how you perceive yourself and the world, you begin to reshape your path. When you understand how others perceive you, you begin to shift the energy around you. This isn't fantasy or fiction. It's a timeless insight once studied by sages, philosophers, and disciplined minds. And now, it returns to your awareness. Let's begin with a belief that limits many. That real power exists somewhere far away, guarded by systems too complex to touch. But look closer. The world isn't set against you. It's structured. And every structure has patterns. Patterns that can be studied, shifted, and expressed by those who understand the rhythm beneath it. Just like a video game runs on invisible rules, the world around you, status, influence, attraction, culture, follows hidden sequences. These sequences shift in response to energy, to rhythm, to how you see yourself, to what you believe. But most of all, they respond to your internal state. This is why some move forward with ease, while others, equally capable, feel held back. Some learn to see the patterns. Others move through them unaware. So what are these patterns? They live in how you speak, how you breathe, how you carry yourself, and how you hold your identity in silence. Reality doesn't respond to who you wish you were. It mirrors who you truly believe yourself to be. And understanding this, that's where the transformation begins. Throughout history, certain individuals have influenced the world, not through force or fame, but through clarity of thought and presence of mind. To them, it wasn't about control. It was about alignment, with rhythm, with focus, with the deeper patterns that shape perception. From ancient Greece to the Shaolin temples, from the teachings of Egyptian scholars to the focus of Tibetan disciplines. This wasn't mysticism. It was structured insight, a commitment to precision and disciplined awareness. Plato once shared the allegory of the cave, a metaphor about how most live surrounded by reflections, unaware of the deeper reality behind them. And in that cave, those who shaped light weren't deceivers. They simply understood how perspective works. To see more clearly, one must stop chasing shadows and begin studying the light source that creates them. In modern terms, most people argue over the content of the story, but those with deeper awareness pay attention to the frame, the perspective shaping the narrative. Those who shape conversations don't waste energy on every debate. They guide the lens through which the conversation is seen. This isn't trickery. It's refinement. The quiet art of understanding perception. Every word you speak, every action you take, carries an impact, a subtle charge that others can feel. That impact comes from internal alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and body move with a shared intention, you create a kind of presence that's hard to ignore. This is why a monk's silence can fill a room, why a samurai's calm gaze can shift the energy, why a thinker's quiet question can open doors that force never could. True presence doesn't come from volume. It comes from coherence. You've seen this before. Someone whose calm confidence left a lasting impression, who didn't speak much, but whose presence was undeniable. That's not just charisma. That's alignment in motion. And it begins with focused discipline, the ability to hold your energy rather than scatter it in constant stimulation or reactive emotion. When you learn to contain that focus, to refine it through breath, movement, stillness, and intention, you become unmistakably present. Not because of what you've added, but because of what you've let go. Inner mastery unfolds through 3 distinct levels of awareness. The belief, where most people live, shaped by inherited ideas about who they are and how the world works. The perception, here you begin to step back from your beliefs. You start to observe your thoughts instead of becoming them, and shift the lens through which your reality is filtered. The alignment. This is the foundation, where beliefs and perception begin to reflect your internal state, the quiet presence you carry within. At this depth, there's no urge to argue, compete, or prove anything. You align inwardly, and life begins to mirror that alignment externally. In this space, even silence carries weight. It communicates more than noise ever could. This is the power behind real transformation, not driven by grasping or overthinking, but by embodying clarity and letting life respond in kind. You think tens of thousands of thoughts each day, but here's what most people never consider. Many of those thoughts aren't consciously chosen. They're shaped by early experiences, cultural inputs, repetition, and emotional memory. Not with intention, but through pattern. The human mind isn't a closed vault. It's more like a temple, open to influence from the world around it. So the real question becomes, who or what is shaping your thoughts? Once you see this clearly, you can begin to take the pen back. You become the architect of your inner landscape by planting intentional thoughts, by choosing words that reflect who you're becoming, by replacing old habits with new mental practices that reinforce clarity and self-respect. This is how you dissolve the quiet inner doubts that say, "You're not ready. You're not enough. You need permission to begin." Ancient traditions saw this as a rite of passage. Modern neuroscience calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through focus, repetition, and emotional presence. This isn't abstract theory. It's measurable, grounded transformation. But it only begins when you decide to be the designer, not the default. Every man carries an invisible framework, not built of stone, but of the stories he tells himself. I'm not good with people. I've always been lazy. I just don't have confidence. I can't change now. Each one becomes a block in the structure of who he believes he is. But here's the truth. Identity isn't fixed. It can evolve. Not by forcing affirmations into the mirror, but through habits that bring your actions into harmony with your values. Breathing with purpose. Moving with clarity. Speaking with intention. Fasting to restore self-discipline. Preserving focus to strengthen your inner presence. This is how people across time shaped their character, not just in the eyes of others, but through legacy. The Shaolin monks didn't train only for combat. They trained to become living examples of discipline and presence. Every breath was conscious. Every movement carried meaning. Even silence was a form of practice. Because they knew, when identity is built from the inside out, the world no longer gets to decide who you are. Now let's look deeper into what both ancient disciplines and modern science suggest. Your nervous system is more than electrical signals. It responds to your breath, your thoughts, and your emotional rhythm. Every idea you dwell on shifts not just your mood, but how others perceive your presence. When your focus scatters, your influence weakens. When your energy is drained, your presence fades. But when your attention is steady, your breath calm, your actions aligned, you become grounded and unmistakable. In every room, some stand out immediately, others blend into the background. It's not magic, it's alignment of body and mind. Your breath and heartbeat can work together. Your emotions and actions can form a steady rhythm. And this is something you can train. Traditional practices used stillness and focused repetition. Today, we use breathwork, clarity rituals, and mental reset techniques. Different tools, same result. A centered mind. A steady presence that influences the space around you without ever needing to force it. Now we enter a space that's often misunderstood. Not mystical, but deeply grounded. Many try to shape their lives by thought alone. They wish, they hope, they imagine, but often little seems to shift. Why? Because change doesn't come from vague intentions, but from internal clarity. Picture your mind, emotions, and body aligned like a compass. Your thoughts, your feelings, your physical energy. When they all move in the same direction, you begin to respond to life with more precision, and life in turn becomes more fluid. This is why monks trained their breath, why ancient disciplines emphasized awareness, why certain warriors stayed calm even in chaos. Not miracles, just mastery of attention. So if there's something you deeply value, don't chase it externally. Become its reflection. Live it, and others will begin to see it in you. Here's something subtle, yet powerful. True influence carries no force. It's not a sound or a signal, but a quiet presence. It's in the way your body enters a space, how you listen fully without rushing to respond, how your eyes rest, calm, observant, grounded. Others feel it, especially those who sense authenticity before words are spoken. This isn't about charm. It's about clarity. When your inner world is steady, you stop seeking approval. You act with quiet confidence. Those who lead without trying all understand this. They don't push energy into the room. They become still, and others naturally adjust. Now I leave you with the practice, not one of mysticism or ceremony, but one rooted in clarity and presence. This is your task. Silence. Each morning, spend 10 minutes without music, screens, or stimulation. Just you and your breath. Notice the mental chatter, then let it fade. Stillness. Each day, move without overthinking. Walk, stretch, or flow with intention. Energy conservation. Preserve your focus. Avoid the constant drain of digital noise or scattered attention. Affirmation. Speak a phrase that clears the fog. One that anchors your sense of self. Say it with calm certainty, not to impress but to align. I do not beg the world to shift. I become the shift. Action. Each day, take one aligned step. Not to chase approval, but to honor the person you are becoming. This is how you live the code. Not in theory, but in frequency. You've now seen what most never pause to notice. Reality isn't just something that happens to you. It reflects through your awareness, your choices, your rhythm. And when that truth lands, you stop reacting to the world and begin shaping your place within it. If this message resonates, if you've begun to feel the structure beneath the noise, comment below. I align my mind. You step beyond the noise of inherited patterns and into conscious direction. While many stay lost in the static, you begin to move with a deeper sense of clarity. But remember, as you align your actions with your intention, challenge often follows. Not because you've made a mistake, but because you're moving beyond what's familiar. And only those with steady focus walk through discomfort and emerge more grounded than ever before.